Hey boys and girls. Today we are in your module 10 through 20 book. We're going to be doing in chapter 11 we're going to be doing lesson 5, and that is on page 283. Okay, make sure we can see this. All right. Okay, so it says interpret and solve division of a unit fraction by a whole number. We've been doing this for a while. Y'all are very good at this. So our I can today, at the end of this, you can create a story for a given equation. So we're going to be creating our own word problems, and we worked on this a few times, and it's very good to continue to practice this, because if you can write a word problem, that means you are understanding what's happening with these numbers. So let's look at number 1. It says write a word problem that can be modeled by p equals a half divided by 4. Then use a fraction model to solve it. So let's think about a word problem. The most important thing we need to remember right now is that 1/2 is being divided. A half is being divided. Now you may find that it's better if you go ahead and know your answer, if you don't know it automatically when you see it, which some of you might. If I have a half and I put it in 4 parts, my answer is 1/8. Okay? And I'm telling you to go ahead and solve it, because whenever you're writing your problem, make sure your answer would make sense to be a fraction of something as your answer. So already we're beginning with a fraction. So should this half be people? No, we don't want a half of a person. Okay? Unless you're doing things like half of the class was then put into 4 equal groups, what fraction of the class is in each group. You could say something like that. But just be careful with your words, because you don't want to divide people unless you're careful with how you say it. Okay? Write a word problem. So let's talk about, I love lasagna. So I have, and y'all, you don't have to write lasagna. A half a pan of lasagna, or brownies. Let's say brownies. You could have a half of whatever you want. A half of a watermelon, a half of a hot dog, a half of a bag of chips, whatever you want. Have a half a pan of brownies. I am sharing them, so that helps me know I'm dividing, with myself and 3 BFFs. How much will we each get? So make sure you actually ask the question. When we've been doing this, y'all are writing like your sentences, but you don't ask anything. How much will we each get? Oh, and here's where we can draw our picture. Represent it with a problem. So here we go again. Here's our half pan of brownies. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4. How did we use that rectangle? So we represented 1/2, then divided that into 4 equal parts. What fraction represents the quotient? We know quotient is a big word that means answer, and everybody gets an 8. To check this, 1/8 times 4 would be 4/8 or a half. You could do that, or you could do 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 equals 4/8, which we also know is a half. So that's helping us say, yep, if all of us get this, this does equal what I had to start with. Interpret the quotient in the context of your word problem. All that means is we all get an 1/8. 1/8 of the pan. That'll be great. Let's turn the page over. So we're on 284. Number 2 says, write a word problem for the equation t equals 1/3 divided by 2. Then use the visual model. Write a word problem. Okay. I like to go ahead and know my answer. So if I have 1/3 divided by 2, I have a fraction that I'm dividing into 2 equal parts. I know my answer is smaller than 1/3. And 3 times 2 is 6. I know that it's going to be 1/6, but let's double check. Here's my 1/3. I draw what I see first. This is what's being divided. And I'm dividing it into 2 parts. So here's a chunk and here's a chunk, and each one is a 6. So if we're writing a word problem, let's say Molly has 1/3 of a yard of material. And she, or let's say can make 2, let's say some baby doll dresses with the material. Uh-oh, my lights went out. How much material will each dress get? So she's got the 1/3 of a yard and she wants to make 2 dresses. So how much will each dress be able to have? 1/6. And if we add them together, 1/6 plus 1/6 is 2/6. And we know that that's equivalent to 1/3. And interpret the quotient. So you could say she will use 1/6 yard of material on each dress. And if you wanted to write something different, you might have said, if you had food, or if you had a board, or you know, a 1/3 of a basket of Legos, how much of the basket would each person get if you were sharing it that way? It's up to you. Let's do one more on this page. Write and solve a word problem for the equation 1/5 divided by 2. Again, my answer is going to be smaller than 1/5. Because I have 1/5, which already isn't a lot. And then I'm dividing it by 2. It's going to be in 2 equal parts. Word problem. Let's see. What do we want now? Let's have Max has 1/5 of, oh my goodness, 1/5 of a pizza. He wants to eat it in 2 days. Let's say equally in 2 days. How much can he have each day? So if he has this much pizza and he wants to eat some today and some tomorrow, how much can he have each day? So we know by showing our work that he can have 1/10 today and 1/10 tomorrow. So the answer is 1/10. Complete the word problem. Let's see if we can fill this in. The equation is 1/6 divided by 3 equals m. blank friends share blank of a bag of marbles equally. Each friend gets blank. Alright? Are we going to have a sixth of a friend? No, we have 3 friends sharing a sixth of a bag of marbles. Each friend would get what? A 6 divided by 3. We know it's going to be a fraction smaller than a 6. And I know 6 times 3 is 18. So it's 1/18 of the bag. It says draw a visual model. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's your 1/6. And there's your splitting it with the friends. 1 friend, 2 friend, 3 friend. Okay. Let's look on the next page. We're going to do a few here. Write a word problem for a fourth divided by 4. Then write a related multiplication equation to solve. Okay? So, how about there are 4 friends sharing a fourth of a gallon of water at basketball practice. How much water do they each get? Okay, I want you guys to do 4, 5, and 6 by yourself. We've done all of these. Think of a word problem, write those, and draw those visual models to help prove your answer. And do your very best.